go through and do a little tutorial on how to render this guy in ZBrush. Now, you usually wouldn't render stuff in ZBrush, but sometimes it's nice to get like a quick little concept out. And actually for this guy, I have a couple artists that are working on like look dev and texturing for him. So they're doing the big boy stuff. I'm just gonna do a quick little concept, basically like try to show you guys how I would quickly turn something out from ZBrush to Photoshop to comp it in Photoshop and then to send it off. Basically, so you have your creature, I have him posed here. Yeah, it looks like this. Yeah, and I don't have any materials on here yet, but I'm gonna do that now. So the way you put materials on a ZBrush is very strange. And let me just show you how to do that. It's really, really annoying. ZBrush is just the weirdest program in the world, but it's also the best program in the world, so what are you gonna do, right? Okay, so to assign a material to something, you need to do this very specific weird step. Basic material, like this, we're going to do a couple things. Wax, let's turn it on. We'll get this little notification. We gotta go up to render here. We gotta go to render properties and turn wax preview on. Then we can actually see it. I'm gonna click on the teeth. Let's go and assign this to the teeth. So the way you do that is you have to put on M for material channel. That's going to fill your object with material. So I'm gonna go down to fill object, which is, I believe, somewhere over here. Fill, no. You know what, I don't remember where it is because I have a button for it. So it's somewhere. Maybe color, color, fill object, there it is, yeah. Okay, so maybe that worked, maybe it didn't. Let's just see if the texture's on. It won't fill if there's a texture map on there. So mine doesn't have the texture map, but if it has a texture map, it'll override the channel, so it won't work. So let's do it. It probably didn't work. It's just the same as the other one. So modifiers. Okay, yeah, it did work. There's something weird going on. See that? Oh, that's the teeth beat. Yeah, that's fine. It is working. Okay, so let's go material. Speculars, take that way up. Let's make it way sharper. And make it quite reflective. Not that much. So it falls sharply, so it's like it looks wet. Again, you'd want to just do this stuff in Arnold, but sometimes it just takes a little bit longer, and it's good to get a quick render out sometimes. Okay, so that's good there. Wax, let's turn it up a little bit more. Okay, cool. Now, remember, I'm just looking at the teeth. I'm not looking at anything else because I'm not going to fill those. So that looks fine. Let's add some reflectivity into there. And again, the reflectivity isn't proper, it's like a fake here. So let's go reflective. And you have to add, for reflectivity, you have to add a little color right here. They don't label it, you know, because ZBrush is ZBrush. Look at it, you just texture it. What does that mean? If you put a little thing into here, then now it reflects. Okay, so it's now reflecting, fake reflecting that image, basically. It's just really silly. It's really, really silly. Why don't they just give it like real reflections? I don't know. I don't know these things. I would love to ask them. I'd love to sit them down and ask them 100 questions. Be like, hey, what the hell's going on with this program and why is it like this? I mean, also it's amazing though. It's such a good program, but like there's so many weird things that have like been there forever. And it's like, I have no idea why this is the way it is. Okay. That seems good-ish. Diffuse. That's too much. Okay, I'm gonna keep it around there. That looks good for teeth. I think I'm gonna make that specular a little bit more broad, a little bit more. Okay, that seems good. Okay, so I'm gonna fill that. That's filled with M, yeah, and then the next one up here, fill those two. Okay, now if I change the material, it stays on those teeth, right? Because I filled it. You know, actually it's kind of cool. Sometimes you have little happy accidents. I kind of like the skin like this. However, I don't want all the skin to be like this. I just like the tips of the scales to look like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake out, in ZBrush you're going to really separate things into comping layers basically. So I'm going to bake out like the whole body with like, you know, regular skin, and then I'm going to bake out like a little more like reflective surface. And that'll be used for like just the tips of the scales where I want those to be like looking really hard and shiny. Maybe the tip of the horns as well. So I'll remember that. I'll remember to render off a part like this with the reflective stuff on the skin as well, so I can paint those areas in Photoshop. You know, generally you wouldn't have to do that because it would all just be baked into the material, but you can't really do that in Photoshop or in ZBrush. You can you can paint on, like if we filled the skin with this, I can actually paint it in with this, see? But you don't have any fall off. It's kind of just like, it's like all or nothing, you know? You can't change that. It's just all or nothing either way. So that's kind of annoying. I mean, otherwise you would kind of do that. But you know, it's just like, it's just a little bit weird. So we won't do it that way. I mean, it does look cool to view it in the viewport too though. So that's fine. Let's just fill it all with the original one. Okay, let's work on the skin shader now. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do the tongue, because the tongue I think will probably be similar to this guy, and maybe it might even be the same. You know what? I think it's gonna be the same. Let's just fill it. Ooh, interesting. Let's see what happened there. It's because I filled it with RGB on the not M. That's kind of weird. Again, it's a weird program. What are you gonna do? Okay, what's going on here? M. Okay, let's just switch this around. Let's just go like this. Okay, fill. That's fucking strange. Pretty strange. I mean, oh wait, is it the same? Well, it is the same. It's just getting desaturated. Okay, well let's just make a new one then. Basic material. No, it's not. It's not staying the same. It's losing my texture. See that? Colorize. Well, let's do that. Let's see. Let's just dig deeper. Okay. You have to do this with ZBrush. Oh, okay. It was taking on this stuff, so let's just go new texture and let's go texture off. Okay, let's try that then. And let's go this one. Okay, that seems like it should work now. Oh my god. Wild. Look at that. Oh, aha. Okay, another thing. Layers. That's what it is. If you have a layer on that's recording, it won't work. See, I've done all this stuff. I figured this shit out for you, so you don't have to. Isn't that annoying? It's like you would never figure that out. Like, oh, a fucking layer doesn't record material data. Good. Great. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and bake that. Now we're going to do that again. Fill. Now we're on there. Okay. No, let me fill with this one. Sure. That's probably too bright for that. So I'm gonna switch it out. I'm gonna switch it for another one and we'll make that new shader too. It'll probably be the same as the gums, I'm gonna guess. So I'm gonna paint in the gums actually. So let's go fill with this one and let's make this one together. So let's go. The wax is gonna be very high. Again, wax is just another thing for SSS basically, but it's like cheating SSS. It's just switching the shadow color to be more red. Yeah, I think SSS is probably too hard for it to handle in ZBrush. Let's go. The reflection, yeah, way high. Get those nice little highlights. Let's also paint in the skin as we're adjusting this too, so we can actually view it. Okay, so see, I'm gonna just paint in those gums to be nice and wet looking. So remember, I'm in M here, not RGB and not add. Z add and Z sub, that's adding or taking away from the model, like actually sculpting it. and this stuff is just adding materials, RGB or both. I'm just gonna kind of brush over this stuff to make it look a little bit more wet. Obviously this guy I want to be a little bit more wet. And now I have to do this twice because the symmetry isn't turned on, because it's posed, but it's not a really big deal for me. I'm just gonna do it like this anyways. Okay. Okay, almost there. I'll probably speed some of this stuff up so you don't have to wait there the whole time. Let's hide all that stuff and let's just do some nice big broad strokes over the inside of the mouth to make that all matching. It's just so funny how, it's just really funny to me how ZBrush is just like, does its own thing. And it's like, well, other programs have kind of figured this out already, and they're like, no, we're gonna do it. You gotta paint it on. It's like, okay, all right, sure. It's just so strange. I mean, it works. It's just annoying to do. I guess how else are you gonna do it though? You can't really select polygons in ZBrush, so. I mean, I guess you could mask and then inverse and fill by mask, but like it's the same as painting it on, so whatever. Okay, that's all filled. That's good. See, it's kind of starting to look more alive, right, with those gums like that. Kind of cool. Anyways, let's so now we can see a little bit easier. Let's turn that wax down actually a little bit. It's probably a little bit too high. Yeah. Let's just play around with some stuff, right? That looks kind of cool. I wonder if it's too much, like too bright. It's cool, kind of cool how those frills like that too, like really reflective. I think that's probably okay. What else could we do to it? Just trying to think here. Turn that reflective on. Gel shading is just the weirdest thing. It just like reverses things, I think. So let's not fuck with that. Let's turn reflectivity on a little bit. I mean, it's just such a cheat that it doesn't really even look that good ever. I'm gonna leave it like that, and then we can change it later if we need to upon render time. So I think that looks pretty good. That looks nice and like wet, you know? All right, cool. I'm also actually gonna paint the insides of the eyes as well, right here. Make those look a little bit more wet. Add some life to it, you know? I'm gonna be a little bit messy with this stuff because I want it to be, maybe there's some like tears or some, you know, just wetness on those scales around the eye. That would make sense to me. Maybe on the nose a little bit. Cool, looking good, I think. That's sweet. All right, let's do the other side. All right, some little ones up on the top there. Alright, that's looking cool to me. Oh, and then the nose, right. Alright, cool, that looks good. It's kind of coming to life already, right? Alright, cool. Also, I'm going to do flat color onto the inside of the pupil here. Let me just do that really quick. So I have the pupils that are right around here. And I'm just going to MRGB, fill color. Oh, it's filling it all white. There we go. Makes sense. Easy. There we go. All right, switch out to flat color. Okay, let's work on the skin for the body now. I want them to be a little bit, we'll just see. I was saying a little bit reflective, but not too much. So adjusting the diffuse curve, that makes it like be more more of a flat color. If you adjust it all the way up, it's just straight flat. And this one's going to be adding more and more like darkness on the edges, essentially. I like to play around with this a little bit. It can give you some interesting results. The diffuse is too high. Probably that's good. I just like to trial and error it, basically. What does up look like? Okay, what does down look like? Well, I feel like up is a little bit better, maybe. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's do a little bit of wax. A little bit, not too much. Okay, let's play with the specularity. I think that almost just looks good right there. I think that's probably good. What does noise do? Not really what we were looking for. Specular, what is that? That's new. I'm just playing with these guys, I don't really know what they do. Seemingly nothing. Okay, cool. There's so many things. I like adjusted so many things. I'm like, they don't do anything. Okay, good. It's just so strange. Okay, anyways, that looks fine. Let's keep it there. Okay, and I'm also just gonna do the face for you guys here. I've already done some like full body renders. I want to do like a nice high res face render here. So I think we're good for the materials. That looks fine. The eyes are looking okay. What do we have on the eyes? Let's adjust that material to be, I don't know why this thing is not holding the shader. It's very, very weird. Anyways, I'll just switch it out at the end. The eyes, let's fill in with this material possibly. Oh, I think the texture might be on. Oh, that's right, the fucking recording. That's why. Bake all, and the one below it too. Yeah, that's why. God, it's so stupid. Okay, let's fill it with flat color. it's still not working, but fuck, jeez, this is annoying. Why would it not be working? Just trying my hardest to figure out why this thing wouldn't be taking on the colors that I'm assigning it to. I mean, layers is turned off, texture's turned off. Anyways, moving forward, doesn't matter, I can fix that later. It's just such a, you know, some things just don't work for like no reason. It's like, okay, that's just not working. Okay, gotta just move on. So weird. Okay, so that's gonna be there. We're going to add, I believe, let's try this guy. Full object. Let's try this one. Fill. I think that's probably the best one. I want to make the eye very vibrant, so I'm actually going to boost that up a little bit. Not that high, obviously, but there, specular, up. Okay, that's good. I like that actually. Okay, and in Photoshop I'm going to be adding a lot more to it. Okay, I think that's looking good. I'm going to add a different material onto these guys. Maybe something like that. I like them when they're a little bit shiny. That looks cool to me. Let's just fill it. Okay, cool. Picking a render frame. First, we need to do this. So I'm going to go like 5,000. Resize, yes. Control N for new document. Then this is important. So I'm making the render size bigger. Again, ZBrush is just weird. It won't just adjust your pixels here. It's basically 1-to-1 pixels on your screen. So my screen is now like bigger than my actual window in ZBrush. So what I have to do is I have to do the zoom feature. I'm zooming out until you can see the difference of there. Like there's like a difference of shade. You can tell a little easier if I just go like this. Right? So zooming, scroll, zooming. So I'm gonna keep it around here. So I can fit the whole guy in there. Now I go here, hit edit. I just clicked and shift button to snap it. Then now I can adjust it into frame. Okay, so I think maybe the render is gonna be something like this. I think that looks pretty good. I want to be able to see both eyes. Let's just play around for a second. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, and now that we have all that done, turn the pupil back on and turn that to flat color. Okay, because it wasn't able to fill for some reason. I'll make sure that everything is in frame. Do you want to tilt it down maybe? Tilting it up is cooler. Okay, let's go like that. Tilt it over to the side. I think that's sweet. Okay, cool. Nice dynamic pose. We're gonna hit render. BPR. Okay, so here we go. Let's turn on a couple things here. Render pass. We're gonna want to turn on ambient occlusion. Again, ambient occlusion, it doesn't really work the best here, but we're gonna use it anyways. Depth Q, need that. That's gonna be really important for us. SSS, I mean, sure, just put it on. Whatever. It doesn't really work that well. Okay, shadows, let's go adjust some of these things. So lights, let's go here. Let's adjust this light. Where do we want it to come from? Maybe right from the top. Something like that looks pretty good. I'm getting good reflections on everything. I'm gonna try to add another light in here. We can't really see because it's on flat color, so I'll just go like this and adjust this now. Let's go here. There we go. A lot of this stuff I'm gonna do in comp as well. So let's, if we add that up here, let's just see what a render looks like. I mean, it looks kind of cool actually. Let's just see. Okay, that's much better. I like that, way softer. Let's kick that out. Okay, so render, composite, let's get that over. Yeah, boom, we're getting a lot better. Way sharper, okay. The depth pass is really important. I like using that in a specific way. I'll show you guys how I use it. I kind of want to make this guy like emerging from smoke, possibly, which would be pretty cool. Oh, it didn't render the ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion, I haven't turned on. Honestly, it doesn't matter. The ambient occlusion sucks anyways. I mean, yeah, screw it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, now we're gonna do another quick render pass. Let's go here. We can turn these guys off for now to make it a quicker render. We're gonna go diffuse, global diffuse, and specular. We're gonna get some spec passes now. Oh, ambient occlusion did work that time. Okay, thanks. Anyways, that's on there. The spec pass, I'm gonna just grab any of these guys. It doesn't matter which one you grab. Let's call it spec. Spec 1. I'm gonna make a bunch of spec maps. So kick that out. Let's adjust the lighting and render it again. So let's turn that guy off. Let's crank it up, so that's good. Just getting some nice bold highlights from certain areas is nice. Okay, that's perfect. That looks really, really good and sharp. Kick that out. Spec 2. That's great. Okay, nice one. Can do one more of those while I'm at it. I'm gonna try to get some peaks. Fuck, that's nice too. Jeez. I'm gonna get right behind the frill here. Let's do it like that. See what that looks like. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Okay, sweet. Let's kick that out. Spec 3. And I can always go and render more of these too, so not a big deal. Okay, one more. I mean, it's good to just have a couple of these guys, you know? Okay, render that guy. Spec 4. All right, now I'm going to add those guys back on. So global ambient back on, global diffuse back on, global specular. Let's dial that down a little bit. Now it's looking all weird because the lighting setup is very weird. So we're gonna do a couple more renders from different areas, just to have a more, I don't know, more well-rounded lighting setup. Yeah, cool. Pick that out. Render 1. Okay, now we're gonna adjust the lighting one last time and bake out another one. All right. Something like that. Render 2. Okay, now we're going to fill it with this other one. Was it basic material? I think so. Let's fill it with that guy. Yeah, the shiny one. Or is it this one? Yeah, the first one's better. Okay. So fill it with that, and we're going to just do another render from here. They have it here. I don't think so. There's like a skin material, right? But it's like, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It might be good for SSS. Let's just save that out. Cavity detection. Oh, kind of cool. I mean, if it works, it probably doesn't even work. Let's see what it looks like. Let's just bake it out and save it, and might use it for some subsurface scattering stuff. Sure, whatever. Better than more than not enough. I'm gonna try something here. I think I found the material. Okay, yeah, this one is the one. It highlights cracks. So I will bake this out to help us try to get some like an AO of a sorts. Okay, let's see. Cavity trans. I mean, let's just, yeah, let's bake it out. Doesn't look bad. Might be all right. Edges. All right. I mean, it's pretty bad. Whatever. We can Gaussian blur it. Okay, now remember to not move the camera, ever. We're never gonna look at the camera. Okay, we're gonna go to Photoshop and we're gonna start creating this guy. So I'm gonna just drag all those guys in there into Photoshop, and we're going to basically compile them all into one scene. So let's just start from the beginning. There is our main scene, I think, yes. So I'm gonna have that kind of just over here, and I'm gonna go through one by one, starting from here. Control A, Control C, click here, Control V. Good, close it, next one. Control A, Control C, Control V, close it. Control A, Control C, Control V, and I'll speed that up now so you don't have to watch me do that the whole time. Right, I have them all here. So let's just go through one by one. Let's sort them into diffuse and to other things. Let's try to get a grip on this stuff. Okay, so this one is just different lighting, same diffuse, different lighting, same diffuse, different lighting, same diffuse, and this is the more reflective one. I'm gonna call it one reflection. These are all the speculars. That one is also the SSS. We'll bring that one down here. Call it SSS. Shadow, mask. Let's put the mask in the top. Depth pass, shadow pass can go down here. Ambient occlusion. Okay, cool. All right. Let's start doing this. Okay, so we have our main guy here. Actually, one thing you can do first is you can go like this. Color range, I'm gonna select the black. Fuzziness around 100. Not too important. Okay, I'm gonna invert. Going to group. I'm gonna duplicate the background layer. Gonna group all this stuff, and I'm going to mask that group. So what that's doing is the group is only going to show that mask. So if I click on this, it's only showing this stuff. Anything out of it won't be shown at all. So it's just a nice little trick to have it kind of on a black background, which it's going to be in the future. So rather than destroying and cutting stuff right now. Okay, I think this will be pretty cool. So let's go here. Gonna start adding some lighting into there. So I'm just balancing lighting right now. I'm not really focusing on too much stuff. I'm going to delete certain things I don't like. So using the erase brush, I liked the top when these were picking up some of those reflections. That was pretty cool to me. So I'm gonna keep those in by doing that. Sounds good. Gonna go nice and quick with this. It's gonna be very artistically driven. Some of them we're not even gonna use either. Like I might not even use this one. It just looks better without it, so we're gonna just get rid of it. And this one, we're gonna get rid of it as well. Subsurface, we can use that one later on, not yet. Reflection, okay, there's this one here. So I'm gonna adjust the lights on this one. I wanna make it brighter. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I have an idea here. I kind of want to select. Okay, you know what? We could just paint it. Let's go like this. I was gonna use this guy to hold them out. Let's try it like this first. Okay, so let's go. Let's clamp this. So I'm basically just trying to get a cavity map here, right? That looks good. Now I'm going to Gaussian blur a slight bit so it's not that like, we have that really annoying, that's better, we're getting away from that. Yeah, there's like pixelation happening and tessellation happening. Let's go like that. Maybe we can try sharpening it now. Blur. Sharpen. That works pretty well. Okay, so it's like nice little, it's a little bit smoother now, so it looks a little bit better. Okay, so now we're gonna go to color range, select color range, gonna select black. Yes, that works pretty well. Okay. So now it's just adding those reflections to the tips of the scales, right? But we can paint some stuff out. So I'm gonna do that now. Let's go here and just adding black. So where I don't want them, I'm just gonna paint black. I mean, I want a little bit down here, just a little bit. I want to drag the viewer's eye to the face, though, so I'm not going to be like little hints of reflections around this stuff is kind of cool, but not too much. Inside of the mouth, I'm going to get rid of completely. I liked that better before. Yeah, see all that stuff. Get rid of it. Looks better before. And this guy, I want to crank the saturation a little bit actually. It's kind of cool like having it really blue. I mean, I am colorblind, so maybe it's not cool, but I think it is, so I'm gonna keep it. Oops. That looks cool. You know, I'm liking it. All right. Sweet. Now we have shadows. Generally, you're gonna use shadow and multiply. Let's just duplicate that layer because I might use it for something else later. Gonna go to multiply, and I'm going to clamp it to be white. White and black. So it's either shadow or not none of this gray stuff. I kind of like that we can see some of the inside of the mouth, so again, I'm just gonna erase some of that out. Yeah, that's better. Cool. Now this shadow, I'm going to try something new here. Okay, so I'm going to go to, let's go clamp, let's clamp it again. When I say clamp, I mean like I'm going to make it try to be like white or black to essentially get a mask out of it. And I'm going to go to, you know what, let's just try that. I just want to get those inside the scales to be darker. It is working. I'm just going to make them lighter. That's actually kind of cool. I'm going to keep that a little bit. Duplicate that, inverse it again, and multiply was a good idea. It looked good with a little bit of darkness in between. I'm only going to paint that in certain areas too, so I'm going to go fill it with a mask, fill with black, and I'm going to paint in with white areas that I want. So I like that when they had the darkening interior scales there, and on the neck, that looked cool too. Down here, gives a little bit of nice separation on that stuff. And the shadow as well. It's cool. The tongue we're losing some believability there because it's like being lit from the inside because ZBrush is fun. So I'm gonna just paint that out, make it look more normal. Also, like, just so everyone's aware, I'm working very, very dirty and messy right now, but that's like fine for this kind of stuff for me. If I was doing it for a client, I would have it a lot more structured and organized. But I just want to get this done nice and quick so you guys can see the process. There's nothing worse than working on a project for a client and then you did it like messy, or you did like a little cheat and then they ask for revisions and then like you're kind of like pigeonholed. That happened many times. You're like, oh fuck. Okay, this is the ambient occlusion, which it just doesn't really do much, honestly. I mean, sure, let's throw it on. Like, it just helps it pop a little bit more. I just use it very, very sparingly. Okay, screen. This is the reflection passes. So we're gonna only use some of these ones. Let's just check them out first. So turn them all to screen. There's that mask again. That's another one there. That one is really good because it gives the nice sides of the scales here. Let's put that one on first. So if I turn that off, turn it on, see how it's just adjusting that one side of it, right? That's why we did that, adjusting with the lights. It's a little bit too bright. Let me turn it down a little bit. And the cool thing is you can actually colorize these guys. So if I go like this, and maybe I want that light to be more red, I can go like that, and then I can go overlay, and then I can go merge layers. Oops, because I have one. So there. Now I go back to screen. Now it's giving me like a little bit of a red light, right? Now I can adjust the lighting, I can make it more blue if I want. That's kind of cool. I can adjust the saturation too. Just like tinge of blue would be cool. I'm gonna erase out. Okay, that's good. What's this one looking like? This one isn't that good, honestly. The tops of the head is good. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's get a mask, fill it with black. Inverse, paint out some of the tops of the head. I want to make that nice and hot looking. We did get a really cool result with those scales, the blue scales. They look really good like that. It's getting there. Looking pretty cool. I mean, it always looks like a ZBrush render. It never doesn't look like a ZBrush render. So that's what you have to deal with. And we can keep it on, but just turn it really low. I don't mind that. I'm gonna delete some of the neck ones here. Really take those down. I want those to look like they're in shadow a lot. Just add some complexity to the shape of the side of the jaw there. Here are those guys. Okay, and then we have this one. This one is kind of good actually. And I like it except for the top horn and obviously this shit. It's like, why would it be lit from the inside? Like, come on. Come on, ZBrush. I really do like those blue scales. They look good. And again, it's a very ZBrushy render, like I could tell from a mile away, but it is cool still. Yeah, I think that's cool. Take that guy. Sweet. Okay, so now we're done with that stuff here. I'm gonna just try some stuff here. Just messing around. Let's just see. Trial and error is a good way to get some good results. I mean, that's kind of cool, honestly. Helps it pop a little bit more. I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna make it on multiply. I'm gonna clamp it more. Just a little bit. Okay. The mask and the shadow. Now to have it, I do like it coming out of clouds, like have like forced. It's called the thing is called forced atmospheric perspective. Basically, what that is we're getting some weird stuff down there. Sorry, I got distracted. Forced atmospheric perspective is basically. You're forcing, so anything really far back is going to lose saturation and lose details, and anything far forward is going to be in shape. It's basically what depth map is. So the further you go back, the darker it is, and it would be like, if you think about mountain ranges, think of a mountain that's right in front of you, and then think of a mountain that's like kilometers away. The kilometer away mountain is going to be like very, just like low details and like just like basically getting more and more desaturated. I mean, in nature it'd be like more blue because of like the particles in the air, I guess. I can show you an example of atmospheric perspective. So that's a good example there. Or this is a very good example, right? Just, so a lot of times in artwork though, like Magic the Gathering will be using that with every art piece they have. If we look at like MTG artwork, like a lot of this stuff, like that's a good example, right? She's like, it's like everyone's in smoke essentially. She's nice and clear. The people in the background are going to be more and more out of focus, and like yeah, desaturated and stuff. Like again, the background is getting just pushing it way back, so it's going to be pulling characters towards you. Here, another example, right? So characters in focus, and then the further and further back you go, the more and more like out of focus they get. It's not out of focus, I'm saying that wrong. Not out of focus, it's like desaturated and just like less details. So let's try to do something like that. I'm gonna keep that on a little tiny bit. That SSS thing is just fucking stupid, but whatever. Did I bake out? I don't think the SSS actually baked out here. It doesn't really matter. Okay, that's looking good. I wanna just check out one more thing. I'm just gonna double check through these guys and see if there's any. For the gums. So I feel like the gums aren't as good as they could be. Like this one is almost the best one for gums, BPR render 1. Yeah, I like the gums and the general mouth actually better in this one. So I'm gonna just take them. That's the good thing when you work like this, you can just like be very, very sloppy, which I like. Oops. The eye was actually pretty good too. Because we're losing that other eye in shadow now, so I'm gonna just steal both these eyes back. Like, look how dirty I'm making this. So, I'm such a dirty boy. Okay, easy. Get the guy back in there. Okay, cool. Let's do some eye painting here. Now here's a little trick with eyes. Makes eyes look good. So on the bottom, is just manually painting. It's gonna be a little bit more light. And on the tops, be a little bit more dark. You know, if ZBrush did proper rendering, you could just get this in the render, but it's kind of nice having control to paint it too. It just gives it more of an artistic look too, as well. Just paint that pupil to be a little bit bigger, just because the render doesn't take into account the shadows, kind of nukes it, so let's get the guy in there a little bit more. Let's do the other one. All right, now we're gonna do some light here and light here. We're going to overlay it. And then red on the tops of the eyes. That's good enough for now. Let's do a little highlight hit too. That always adds a lot. The position, I'm going to change the position of that guy to be maybe more like that. Yeah, that's okay. All right, see how much that adds? Having a highlight hit there adds so much. I'm going to add a little bit of a tear ring. All right, cool. And then I also just realized that the gums, I want to make them a little bit more. Let's look at the teeth before and after. Let's be a little more saturated. That's good. Let's try to paint out some of the teeth. Cool. Maybe the tongue a little bit more too. Okay, looking good. All right, I think the eyes and everything look decent. I'm gonna add, okay, let's do some testing here. So, let's go here, into channels, we're gonna add a layer. We're gonna basically control Control A to go Control Alt, and then Control C, and then we're gonna paste it into the channel. Gotta hide it. Gotta go like that. We're going to then grab all this shit, duplicate it, merge it down, merge group, poink. Okay, now we have a nice, all-in-one thing. We're gonna try to add some of that motion or that lens blur onto it. So lens blur, source alpha 1, click to set the depth range. See that? Focus distance there. Drag these guys way down. So that's before, and that's after. Before, after, before, after. Sometimes it's hard to say which one you like more. It always does have this little glow around it. I'm not sure why it does that. Kind of strange. Anyways, I feel like I kind of like it before better. I do like it before better. The weird glow it does is a strange one. Okay, so now we're gonna do some testing. I'm gonna just clamp this to be a little bit more. Okay, cool. We're going to scour the internet for clouds. Fog. We can also paint the fog. It's just... Okay, I mean... Okay, so I have a couple backgrounds. Let's just try them out, you know? Gotta just try them out. Where am I going? Okay, here we are. It's probably gonna look a little bit weird because it's not proper. It's not proper, whatever that means. ZBrush isn't properly lighting anything, so it's not gonna ever look real. That's kind of the annoying part, but let's just try it. Merge group. Alright, let's hide that guy. Keep this guy out there. So we probably want to make it like more desaturated. I'm not married to this background, but I'm just seeing what different backgrounds could look like, you know? So. But that one actually looks like fine. See a little bit more color in there too. Like, I actually like something like that. Okay, that's cool. Let's try to flip it the other way. Probably makes more sense with the light coming from this direction. Okay, that's cool. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, I'm gonna really start trying to figure this out. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate, I'm gonna try to match this lighting basically. So I wanna have it be hot on the top there. I'm going to delete out, I just want that top bits. So I'm just basically making the top of the head like more bright. Makes sense, right? Yeah, cool. And we're going to do a couple things. I haven't really found out the right technique for this ever, but it works okay. I'll show you. I'm going to combine these two together. That rock later on, so I'm going to just keep that there. This one. I like the way that this is like very, very, I don't know, dusty. A lot of contrast in between them. Breaking it up a little bit so you can't tell that it's flipped and flopped and whatever. Do the saturation down a little bit. And I'm going to just kind of get onto this guy. Not that guy, this guy. To give it some more depth. Right? That's good, I think. Cool. Let's make that a little bit darker. Okay. Here's the trick. And this is the way that I've done it. There's other ways to do it. Let's try something a little bit more bold this time. Okay, so I'm gonna go here. And since this is quite separated already, we have white in the back, and we have, okay, so I want to switch that, I want to invert it, I want to go like that. I want to take the saturation down to 0. So I'm basically having a little bit of a depth map here. There'll be more fog in the background. Let's just paint in some stuff here. So So more fog, the further back it gets. Again, this is a very, very sloppy way of doing it, but we sometimes get some cool results this way. Okay, and we're gonna just take that down a little bit to be, so you see what I mean here, like that. Taking that out. Now we're trying to get a depth map here, so I need to make this tree further back than the, you know how to do that with this. So I need to have this guy here be lighter. The spikes need to be lighter than the trees because they're further back than it. So we go like that. We can go even more with this one. Yeah. There, and then with the tree, I'm gonna go something like, something like that. Okay, let's just see what this looks like. This is just again trial and error, so. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see what's going on here. We're gonna get the smoke. And I'm gonna go color range. Select color range. I'm going to grab the lightest light. And let's keep it very broad. I'm going to go here. I'm going to delete. Now, let's see. Okay, so see how he's being covered in smoke a little bit? Kind of cool, right? So it's like he's kind of he's like emerging through smoke. Let's get that to be a little bit more. Like I think something like that's kind of cool, right? It's not as smoky. And the top of it here actually was kind of nice if we had it to be a little bit more. I'm going to add some light up here. Cool. I'm also going to add some more to the eyes, make them a little bit brighter. And maybe some to the teeth too. Just little highlight kicks and stuff like that. Kind of nice also just like add some random stuff, you know? So I've just inverted the mask there, and I'm going to try to get it to be more of like losing more detail the further it gets back. I think that works actually. Okay, now I'm going to do a little trick again. I like doing is I'm going to grab those two layers here. I'm going to select the hot lights here at the top. I'm going to duplicate them, and I'm going to crank them up even higher. A little bit higher. So on, off. It just adds a little bit of a hit there, and then we're going to blur it slightly so it's like where the sun is hitting a highlight is going to be a little bit like bloomed out. I'm going to paint some saliva into the mouth, which I think is, it just adds a little bit of like extra detail to it. Just delete the bloom on the top of the teeth here, because that wasn't really working that well. There we go. Okay, that's looking good, I think. And then I think we're almost done. Try to see if there's anything else I need to do. I kind of want to make it like Instagram likes things better when they're framed like this. And I'll probably save 2. Oh. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's add some. I'm gonna add a little bit of a like darkening of the edges of the, what's it called, a vignette. Yeah. Okay, now when this is all done, I want to try to do that depth of field again. Let's try and see if I can do it. Okay, so we have our, do we have our combined one still? Yeah, we do. It's here, I think. Oh, it's this one. Let's just see. Oh yeah, okay, it's below it. And it's this one, okay. That's the one. Okay, I'm gonna combine these guys. I'm gonna also combine everything here in a separate layer just so I can see before and after. I'm going to Control-Alt, Control-C, Alpha 1, Control-V. And let's see if this works a little bit better now. I feel like when the edges match up, when there's actually like a background rather than just like nothing in the background for Photoshop layers, it works better for the lens blur. Let's just see if that actually is the case here. I think it will be. Let's also just crop this, get rid of the background stuff. Okay. Lens blur. Okay. Yeah, that actually does work pretty well. Okay, let's see if that actually goes through. Ah, see? Yeah, that does look better. So these are actually blurred out now a little bit better. A little bit more accurately. And now I'm gonna just delete out some areas that I like. So I do like the eyes to be in focus. They're just slightly not in focus, so just kind of fix that for it. Some of the scales, just art directing it a little bit more. Gonna play around for a second here, trying something out just for fun. Just adding a little bit more lighting to it. I think we're looking pretty good. Cool. I think it's done. So I'm gonna just add my logos to it, and I'll save out some other images. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the little mini tutorial, and yeah, hopefully it helps a little bit.